and welcome back to another video on the JJ Think Tank. Today I want to talk about shame. Shame, how we feel shame in our personal life, how we can sometimes hold on to shame, which can hold us back, and why we ourselves, all of us, can contribute negatively to an increase in shame, in the shame of others, how we can contribute to them feeling more shame than they actually should, due to the advent of social media, yes? Because social media has given everyone so much power to throw hate, shame, ridicule, and other negative emotions on people who are creating content, who are trying to make a difference. And because they are doing this, they engage in black and white thinking, and this is not a good way to judge your fellow man, yes, your fellow human. And this is why I think it's so important to talk about this issue, to clarify where we are going wrong and what we can do moving forward. So I wrote an article this morning about this after reading Jon Ronson's book, So You've Been Publicly Shamed. It's a great book. He wrote another book, actually, the Psychopath Test, which I'll probably cover in another video soon. But I want to begin with this topic and share my thoughts, really, about this and what we need to do, yes, collectively. So I myself have been in this situation. I held on to unnecessary shame for a while in my life. I think it held me back. I was trapped in the past. I felt worthless. I felt that I made too many mistakes. I regretted some of the behaviors I did in the past that I showed. I regret how I treated some people, and it made me, made me feel bad about myself. I felt a lot of shame, a lot of regret. But then I realised that sometimes we hold on to this shame for too long, and it can actually prevent us from making progress, yes? Because after all, we are human, yes? We are all human, we make mistakes, we are all sinners, and we need to recognise this, yes? And try to overcome our unnecessary shame and move forward. And obviously this behavioural mechanism is useful because when we feel shame, when we feel embarrassed, ashamed or regretful, it helps us to adjust our course and not repeat patterns of behaviour that if enacted would result in negative outcomes, yes? Shame has a role to play, yes? We can't totally reject the opinion of others, of society, and think that we're right, yes, we don't need to feel shame. There aren't certain moral codes that we need to follow, certain ethical behaviours that we need to follow. Obviously, we can't totally reject society, yes, in this sense. But the problem is nowadays, especially because of social media, people automatically, especially anon accounts, they are the worst, yes? They automatically judge you, they try to ridicule you, they try to put you down, yes? They try to increase your level of shame, they try to kind of control you subtly, yes? They try to hold you back. It's kind of a subtle manipulation tactic that these anon accounts especially like to use in order to control their adversary, we could say, or someone that they are perhaps even jealous of, or they might feel envy, yes? And this is what I noticed, especially on Twitter, when I use Twitter. A lot of people, they instantly resort to hate, to rhetoric, to emotional arguments, to ad hominems, to all of these behaviors, yes, instead of kind of addressing the argument, addressing the issue, whether it's a political issue, a philosophical issue, etc., yes. And I mean, I've been a perpetrator of this as well. I won't deny. Looking back now on some of my behaviors, on some of the comments I used to post, perhaps I was like this as well. I won't deny it. So, and I'm adjusting my course. I'm trying not to be like this anymore. Before I write something, before I say something, I try to think about the other person, think about their perspective, and perhaps learn something and come to another judgment. Yes. So yes. That's kind of perhaps my personal story, yes, my personal perspective. But let's go into Jon Ronson's book now, because I want to share some of his insights, yes. And he has a lot of brilliant thoughts here in this book that I think we should all hear, yes. So it's clear, yes, that this is a dangerous tool. Shame has become a dangerous tool. It can be weaponized by the masses on social media to needlessly shame others before they actually know the life story of the person, before they know important information that could perhaps clarify their situation, yes, why they think like they do, etc. And most of the time, people who engage in these shaming tactics, they do it without forethought, yes, or empathy. They don't have empathy. There's just a lack of empathy there, yes, and it's quite scary actually that this crowd mind, yes, it does exist. And Gustave Le Bon talks about this in a famous book, The Crowd Mind, I think, or Crowd Psychology. And Jon Ronson references this book in his own book. So yes, I'm referencing Jon Ronson, and Jon Ronson referenced Gustave Le Bon. So, yes, a little strange process there, but yes, he references Gustave Le Bon to back up this view. And the problem with this crowd mentality is that it's kind of black and white mentality. There's no nuanced thinking there, and it ends up dehumanizing the person. So obviously politics is part of this. In the political space, we can see such a process taking place on a regular basis, yes? And this process can escalate things unnecessarily and cause conflict that could be avoided if we started to have a bit more empathy for the individual, for the human, and instead of labeling these people as insane, bad, evil, mad people, crazy people, we should hold back a little bit, hold back, create like a gap before we make the judgment, yes? And I think this is very important. So, again, Twitter is such a powerful device. Ultimately, I think Twitter will be a force for good, but I think there has to be some regulation, because personally, I would force all users to have like a picture of themselves, or to be verified in some way, because a lot of these anon accounts, they're not contributing at all. These anon accounts, they're just hateful, spiteful individuals, really. Not all of them, obviously, but many of them, and some form of regulation, I think, has to take place. Obviously, this is a touchy subject because it concerns privacy. Yes, and obviously the solution has to be such that the privacy of the individual is also respected at the same time. Yes, but Yes, I mean this is a major issue, I believe, and it's causing a negative impact on our society. So here's an interesting point that Ronson made, and I'll quote him directly. On Twitter, we can make our own decisions about who deserves obliteration, and we are not impacted, yes, by the criminal justice system or the media. This consensus arises naturally. There's an emergence of it without the intervention of outside forces. Perhaps at times the crowd is correct, and I'm not saying that just because all people share a view that it is wrong. Yes, sometimes it's obvious that that a given event is true, that a given opinion or point of view is true, and if a lot of people share it, it means it's correct. Yes, but sometimes as well, I would say this crowd mentality, it's actually they are well, this crowd mentality is in the wrong. Yes, so we can think of various thinkers and individuals from the past who were already sharing different views about reality, and they were shamed. Yes, but now looking back in hindsight, we can say that they were right all along. So the shame that they underwent was ultimately not justified. So again, as you deeper into any issue, you notice that there's so many layers. Yes, there's so many layers. So yes, moving on. I think I'm coming to a close now, but there's still a few bits of information that I'd like to share with my viewers today, and this is that individuals who undergo shame, ridicule, disrespect, humiliation. I mean, this can even take place in the context of the family. Yes, not just Twitter. It can take place in the context of the family unit. It can take place within relationships, personal relationships. If this process constantly happens, a person ends up feeling worthless. Yes, so we need to be careful with our words. Our words also have an impact. They really do, and such individuals who feel a lot of shame, they eventually lash out and they are violent, and it's understandable. Yes, because they want to kind of replace this shame with a sense of agency, and they want to have self-esteem. And a beautiful quote which shows perhaps the state of their bodies and its relation to shame is this one. Yes, this is a quote from Jon Ronson's book. I don't know if it was his because it was in italics. Maybe he wrote this, but I'm not sure. Their bodies are empty or filled with straw, not flesh or blood. That instead of having veins and nerves, they have ropes or cords. And I definitely had such a body. When I was younger, I definitely felt disconnected from my body. Yes, I wasn't connected to my body, and perhaps this was due to the shame I underwent. Yes, I underwent some shame, and obviously I don't want to go into this issue too much because it's personal. But I underwent a lot of shame, and it had an impact. Eventually, this shame, it has an impact on your body. Yes, and our body is something that we need to respect. Our body, we need to be in touch with our body, because if we are in touch with our body, our mental health improves. Yes, and obviously this is what Bessel van der Kolk talks about in his book "The Body Keeps the Score." Yes, so that's another brilliant book that perhaps I'll review again. I already made one video about that book, but perhaps I need to review it again because it's such an important book, I believe. Very important book. So yes, I know I'm repeating myself, but we need to be careful with the words that we use, and whether we are misjudging people. Yes, if we start to attack them and throw abuse, then can lead to negative consequences. Obviously, Ronson cites many examples of people eventually committing suicide or perpetrating other violent acts. Yes, because of this shame. So we have to be careful. Yes, and another, before I finish, because I'm nearly finished, but there's one more point I want to make, and this is about social media. And I went through this definitely. So the problem with social media as well is that it creates these echo chambers, and these echo chambers, they create a feedback loop. So if you're looking for information that will confirm your worldview, you eventually fall into this trap of just looking for this information, and it ultimately it prevents critical thinking, because you think that your point of view and those of others is correct. Yes, you don't try to approach the other and the other point of view. And I noticed that definitely I was making this mistake, and it ultimately it impacted me. Yes, I ended up having a distorted worldview. Yes, and this is why I try to listen to other perspectives, to people who have totally different views about the world, about reality, etc. And I've noticed that sometimes now I actually do agree with them. I mean, I still disagree with them on many issues, but on occasions I do see a commonality. Yes, I see that people from quote left and right, they see the same issues, they see the same problems. They just approach it from different angles. Yes, and therefore, I don't know. I don't think this left and right model actually is accurate anymore. I covered this in another video when I talked about the Righteous Mind, yes, by Jonathan Haidt, and that's another amazing book that I recommend everyone to read. The Righteous Mind. It will clarify a lot about why people hold different views, and why just because they hold different views, it doesn't mean that they are evil. Yes, because we automatically think, oh, they're evil. They have this different view. They have they're in the wrong. Yes, but it's just a different perspective. Yes, and this is important to notice. So yeah, it's important to try and escape this kind of echo chamber and this feedback loop as much as possible. Obviously, it's not. Eventually, you do come to the conclusion that you have a worldview, and it's hard to totally change it. Yes, because you are shaped by your experiences, by your background, your ethnicity, etc. Yes, but to a degree, you can start to understand other people's point of view and perhaps reach a compromise. Yes, but it requires effort on both sides, I guess. And yes, I mean to end this video of mine, I'd like to say that don't be an Anon account, just hateful, aggressive, unnuanced. Don't be one of these people. I mean, you may think you are nice, virtuous, righteous, but ultimately, I mean, let's be honest. A lot of these Anon accounts, they're cowards and bullies. Not all of them. I think a lot of Anon accounts as well, they actually post insightful comments, and they are good people. Yes, they just don't want to show their face. I understand that everyone uses social media differently, but there's so many of these Anon accounts that are they're toxic. These people are just toxic, and I advise you don't be one of them. Really, you're not contributing at all to the discussion, to the discourse, and you're making matters worse. Which is why I'd like to end my video now with a couple of quotes. One of them is this one by Jon Ronson. What's true about our fellow humans is that we are clever and stupid. We are grey areas. That's a brilliant quote. And then the last one. is maybe there are two types of people in the world: those who favor humans over ideology, and those who favor ideology over humans. Jon Ronson. Again, that's another quote that makes us think, definitely. So yes, that's the end of my video. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you made it this far, I appreciate it. I really appreciate you spending your time here on the JJ Think Tank. I hope it clarified some issues perhaps in your personal life. And yes, if you liked the video, consider liking and subscribing. It'll help me grow the channel. If you like the video even more, consider donating at Buy Me a Coffee. That will also help me, improve the channel and make it grow. But yes, once again, thank you for listening, and I'll see you on the next one. Take care.